Hello students, a very good morning to all of you. Students, in the last video, we had started our new lesson, that is a short monsoon diary, which is written by Ruskin Bond. Now, today in this video, we are going to complete this lesson. We will cover the second half of this lesson in this video. Students, as I told you earlier in the last video, that this is the nice experience of monsoon by Ruskin Bond in the hill stations of Missouri. He has written his diary on this experience, and we are reading each page of this diary which is written by Ruskin Bond. This is the extract of Ruskin Bond's diary. So, we read different paragraphs under different dates. So, let's continue this lesson. August 3. The rain stops. The clouds begin to break up. The sun strikes the hill on my left. A woman is chopping up sticks. I hear the tinkle of cowbells. In the oak tree, a crow shakes the raindrops from his feathers and cows disconsolately. Water drips from a leaking drain pipe, and suddenly, clean and pure, the song of the whistling thrush emerges like a dark, sweet secret from the depth of the ravine. Students, here, chopping up means to cut something into small pieces. The word disconsolately means unhappily. The word drain pipe means a pipe for carrying off rainwater or liquid refuse from a building. Thrush means a small or medium-sized songbird, typically having brown-black spotted breast and loud song. The word raven means valley. So students, as the rain stops on the third day of August, the clouds began to separate, giving way to the sun on the writer's left side. A woman could be seen cutting sticks into small pieces, and the tinkle of cowbell could be heard. A crow sitting on the oak tree shook itself to get away with the raindrops on its feather, and cows were unhappy. And water dripped from the leaking drain pipe that carried off the rainwater from the building roofs. As everything settled, the pure song of the whistling thrush could be heard like a dark, sweet secret from the depth of the valley. August 12. Endless rain and a permanent mist. We haven't seen the sun for 8 or 9 days. Everything damp and soggy. Nowhere to go. Face the room, look out of the window at a few bobbling umbrellas. At least it isn't cold rain. The hillsides are lush as last monsoon flowers begin to appear. Wild balsam, dahlias, begonias, and ground orchids. Students, here the word bobbing means make a sudden move so as to appear or disappear. The word lush means of vegetation, especially grass, growing luxuriantly. So students, by August 12th, the hills had been experiencing continuous rain and permanent mist. They had not seen the light of the sun for about a good stretch of 8 to 9 days. Everything in the surroundings was slightly wet and moist. One could not go anywhere. The only option was to move in the room here and there or look out of the window at a few umbrellas moving suddenly. The author is pleased that it was not cold rain. The vegetation could be seen growing abundantly on the hillsides as the last monsoon flowers begin to blossom. A few flowers that begin to appear are wild balsams, dahlias, begonias, and ground orchids. August 31st is the last day of August and the lush monsoon growth has reached its peak. The seeds of the cobra lily are turning red, signifying that the rains are coming to an end. So, students, August 31st, the last day of the month, also marked the nearing end of the monsoon season. The monsoon had reached its peak by that time, and the color changing of the seeds of cobra lily to red has shown an hint of the end of the rainy season too. In a few days, the ferns will start turning yellow, but right now they are still firm, green, and upright. Ground orchids, mauve lady slipper, and the white butterfly orchids put on a fashion display on the grassy slopes of Landauer. Wild dahlias, red, yellow, and magenta, rear their heads from the rocky crevices where they have taken hold. Students, here the word Landover means a small cantonment town touching Missouri. The word crevices means narrow openings or cracks in rock or wall. So students, as the next few days passes, the flowerless plants or the ferns will begin turning yellow against their present fresh green color as they stand firm and upright. He mentions how the ground orchids, white butterfly orchids, and the mauve lady slipper made the grassy slopes of Landover look fashionable. Furthermore, the wild dahlias, red, yellow, and magenta, turned their heads upwards towards the narrow openings in the rocks where they had taken their hold. Snakes and rodents flooded out of their holes and burrows. Take shelter in roofs, attics, and godowns. A shrew, weak of eyesight, blunders about the room, much to the amusement of the children. Don't kill it, admonishes their grandmother. Chuchundars are lucky. They bring money, and sure enough, I received a check in the mail. Not a very large one, but welcome all the same. Students, here the word burrows means a hole or tunnel dug by a small animal, especially a rabbit, as a dwelling. The word attics means a space or room inside or partly inside the roof of a building. The word shrew means a small insectivorous mammal resembling a mouse with a long pointed snout and tiny eyes. The word blunders means act clumsily. The word chakchundars means Hindi word for shrew. So students, the snakes and rodents that have come out of their holes and burrows in huge numbers took shelter in roofs, attics, and godowns. A small insectivorous mammal resembling a mouse named a shrew with quite a weak eyesight moved out clumsily in the room. It acted as a source of entertainment for the children. Their grandmother warned them not to kill it because chakchundars, that means shrew, bring money. It is lucky for the money and property purpose. The author jokes about it and says that he surely received a check in his mail, although not a huge amount, but it is welcomed anyway. October the 3rd. We have gone straight from monsoon into winter rain, snow at higher altitudes. After an evening hailstorm, the sky and hills are suffused with a beautiful golden light. Students, here the word suffused means gradually spreading through or over. So, students, the month of October took the mountains straight into winter rains as it marked the end of the extended monsoon season. The higher altitude were covered with snow. On the third day of October, the sky and the hills were bathing in beautiful golden light after experiencing a hailstorm an evening before. January 26. Winter reigns in the hills. In the hushed silence of the house, when I am quite alone and my friend who was here has gone, it is very lonely, very quiet, as I sit in a liquid silence, a silence within, surrounded by the rhythm of rain, the steady drift of water on leaves, on lemons, on roof, drumming on drenched dahlias and window pans, while the mist holds the house in a dark chaos. Students, here the word hushed means very quiet and still. The word drenched means wet thoroughly, soak. The word caress means touch gently. So, students, in the month of January, the hills receive winter rains. The author talks about the 26th day of January when he was all alone in the quiet and still house. The friend who accompanied him a while ago had also gone. He mentions how it is very lonely and quiet as he sat in complete silence, experiencing the silence within. He was surrounded by the rhythm of the rain, the slow and gentle movement of water on the leaves, lemons, and roof as it drummed on the already wet dahlias and window panels. The mist covered the house gently in its darkness. As I pause near a window, the rain stops and starts again, and the tree, no longer green but grey, menaces me with their loneliness. Students, here the word menace means be a threat or possible danger to. So, students, as the author stood still near the window, the rain stopped and showered again. He mentions that the trees were now grey and not green, threatening him with their loneliness. March 23rd, late March, end of winter. The darkest cloud I have ever seen squatted over Missouri, and then it hailed marbles for half an hour, nothing like a hailstorm to clear the sky. Even as I write, I see a rainbow forming. Students, here the word squatted means sat. So, students, next, he writes about the late March that marked the end of winter season. He recorded having seen the darkest and blackest cloud resting over Missouri. It poured hail that looked like marble for about 30 minutes. He reveals how there is nothing like a hailstorm that can clear a dark sky. That is, on 23rd March, he mentions that even as he was writing his diary, a rainbow was in its formation. So students, this is all about this video. We have completed this lesson, that is a short monsoon diary in 2 videos. Now, before finishing this video, let me give you a small introduction once again. Let's revise this lesson. Students, in this lesson, we will be studying a short monsoon diary summary. The chapter consists of few extracts from the diary of Ruskin Bond. The chapter describes the author's experience in Missouri during the monsoons. On the first day of monsoon, the mist covered the hills. Biju was calling his sister, but the author could not see him due to the mist. The next day, the rain was warm and humid. Due to the monsoon, one can see leeches, leopards, and birds. After a few days, rain stops and the sun shines. Animals, birds, and people are out once again. It rained non stop for more than a week, which made everything damp. One can see the monsoon grow everywhere. The author says that this year monsoon continued for longer than usual time. In January, Ruskin Bond wrote a poem on winter rain. He feels lonely now. In March, the winter ends and one can see a rainbow. So, students, this is the end of this lesson. I will be sending you this video, and in the next lecture, the PDF of this lesson will be sent to you, so you can write it down in your classwork. Till then, this is Anup sir saying thank you and goodbye.